Let's continue, and we'll move to the bottom half of the GUI, and this is where you're going to go ahead and make your vent changes. So making a change on the Puritan Bennett 840 is really, really simple. You just touch, turn, accept, and you've made a change to the rate. I'll do that again. The current respiratory rate is 13. Tap it or touch. I increase it to 15, and I must hit accept. You got to confirm the change, meaning you meant to do that. We do that as a precaution. Sometimes inadvertent things can happen, and you bump something and maybe tap it again, and that could have been an inadvertent respiratory rate change. You notice that the color here doesn't match its friends, right? Dark blue with white numbers is an active setting. This is not an active setting. This is a proposed setting. The coaching box is still orange saying, hey, you have to touch accept. So get in the habit of touch, turn, and press accept. That's a confirmed or completed change. Now with that, you can make many changes at the same time. So you don't have to do, one, and then go to this one, and this. You can do what we call a batch. So let's say I get a blood gas back and I have to make many changes. We're going to drop or actually ultimately increase the rate to 18. Let's go up on the tidal volume to 400. Up the flow rate a little bit. I'm just having a little fun here, guys. Turn that PEEP up to 8. Press accept, confirm the whole darn batch, move efficiently, move quickly. Okay, so that's how you make changes to the parameters. In terms of larger changes, down here on the lower left are 4 menus with which to access. We have the vent setup button. You might recall when we set up our new patient, this is where you can change from AC to SIMV to spont or bi-level. Different modalities. I don't want volume control anymore. Let's do pressure control, that kind of a thing. Press continue and you can fine-tune those settings. I'm going to just push clear and bounce out of there. You could change the body weight. Maybe the patient is a lot sicker now and we do want to ventilate, kind of in an ARDSNet strategy. So you calculate the new ideal body weight is 44 kilos for this patient. Continue, accept. Right, so now you have entered the new body weight. So vent setup is kind of a main menu button. It allows you to get in and attack many different things from a mode perspective. Next to vent setup is the apnea setup. So we're planning ahead. Right now the patient is on assist control. Even if the patient didn't trigger, the ventilator is delivering controlled breath. So there is no apnea per se. But maybe 2 days from now, when we are weaning the patient and they're on pressure support, we do want our apnea or backup ventilation programmed in the background so that if that patient were to stop breathing, the machine would step in and ventilate the patient for you. So apnea ventilation can be either a volume control or pressure control type breath. We'll do volume control. Do fine-tune this. If your patient were to stop breathing, what would you want your patient to have? So, I don't know, 400 is what the doctor ordered. I probably should have the patient with 400 2 days from now should they stop breathing, the flow rate, oxygen, and then finally, this little button TA is apnea interval. In how many seconds of no triggering should the ventilator step in? So you can program the apnea time as short as 10 seconds. You can also open it all the way out to 60 seconds should you need to do that. The default is always 20 seconds. So that's apnea ventilation. Next to that is the alarm setup. Pretty important page here. So I'll have you focus on this area right down here. These are your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns for alarms. And what we have here, I think these are pretty straightforward. If you touch, no, not there. If you touch P peak, you're setting your PIP limit. And again, it says it right there, high circuit pressure limit. And you know what? This guy is biting the tube a lot. I'm going to give him a little bit of room, go up to 50. High respiratory rate, let's bring that on. I guess I had that turned off, and I want to know if he starts going more than 50. High and low minute volume, and if you look closely, you see these little tags that have numbers. Those numbers are the same numbers that are up here. So we try to help you understand where to bracket all your different alarms by giving you visual cues down here, and your eyes don't have to jump around. So your patient's minute volume is somewhere near 7 liters. I can bring that high, or the lid, down a little bit. Let's bring the lower up a little bit, do something safe here. Come on up there, I want 2, please. Yeah, you get the point. 2. You can bracket your mandatory tidal volumes, high and low. You can also bracket your spontaneous tidal volumes, high and low. Why did we do that? Think of the mode SIMV. SIMV, you might be delivering mandatory breaths that are slightly larger, and during the SIMV, you might be using pressure support. Those breaths could be a little smaller. So we allow you to bracket them separately. Press accept and confirm the whole darn batch. Move efficiently, move quickly. Go ahead and close that page down. And then finally, on the 4th button over here is another Other Screens menu. There's abbreviation for LC, or leak compensation, as well as respiratory mechanics. I'll cover each of those separately. But in opening other screens, you do things like communication setup. That's between IT and getting your EMRs all connected. We and your IT can help there. Time and date change, right? We just moved the clocks back a little bit earlier. This is how you would do that. And then, of course, more settings is where you find many of the features pertinent to leak compensation. I'll cover that separately, as I said.